What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So what we're going to do is talk about the Smackdown preview for tonight, September 20th, 2024. This event will be at the Golden One, which is the home of the Sacramento Kings. It makes me think about the good old days of the Sacramento Kings when they had Mike Bibby, Bobby Jackson, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, White Chocolate. The list goes on and on and on. I absolutely love that team, but we're here to talk about wrestling. And what we're going to do is talk about the advertised matches and appearances that are supposed to happen tonight. And I just thought about this. In about 10 days, it's gonna be my birthday, so this year is going by pretty quick. But yeah, we're gonna talk about each of these matches and give our thoughts on these matches and what we think should have happened. And by the way, if you're new to these whole preview thing, it's not going to happen in the order that you'll see it on the show. In fact, even though some of these matches are advertised depending on time limits and things like that, these events or appearances or matches may or may not happen. I mean, there's two appearances that are definitely going to happen, but some things here may change. But let's start off with the first match that's advertised for tonight, which we found out about last week, and it is LA Knight versus Andrade Cien is for the United States Championship. Now, here's the interesting thing about Andrade. I love Andrade, big fan of his when he was in NXT, big fan of his when he was in AAA, even when he came to the main roster and he had Zelina Vega as his manager. I thought that was amazing when he had the knuckles on his kneecaps. I thought that was pretty dope. But it felt like that ever since Charlotte Flair used the 7 Dragon Balls and the Doctor Strange portal to bring him back over to the WWE Universe, it's been a little lackluster. It's been a little underwhelming for my guy. It just felt like they really haven't done much for him. But I guess some things start to pick up. Some steam started to pick up. He became the WWE Speed Champion. And to those who it mattered to, I guess that's a good thing. To some people, they look at it as the 24/7 championship for people who drink energy drinks, right? That's what some people look at it as. But the good thing about it is I don't mind it at all. I mean, it's not on regular TV, which some people think is a disservice for the title. But I personally think that for people who don't care about that title, they're not forced to look at it. You know, if you want to see it, you can also go to X and watch those matches and get involved in what's happening there. So I check it out here and there. And for people who go to live shows, they get something extra to watch before the main show starts. So I think that's a pretty dope thing in my personal opinion. Now, in regards to this US Championship match, I think we all agree that Diddy has a better chance of beating this case than Andrade has of winning this title off of LA Knight, right? And that's no disrespect to Andrade Cien. Again, he's fantastic in the ring. I love his in-ring work. We just saw the clinic he put on last week with Carmelo Hayes. But given that LA Knight just won this title in August in SummerSlam, I don't think he's going to lose the title like anytime this month or anytime soon. To be honest with you, well, actually, personally, I don't think this is going to be a long title reign, even though we're in an era of title reigns being longer than Harry Potter books. Like, I don't think this is going to be one of the ones that's going to last like a year or two. I don't think LA Knight needs a run that long, in my personal opinion. And I think what really benefits him, well, being a mid-card champion on SmackDown, you have a ton of people who can guarantee that none of his matches should be terrible at all. I mean, you got Andrade Cien, you got Carmelo Hayes, you got people like Apollo Crews, even if you want to pull from people who haven't really been on TV. You got Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, Baron Corbin, he's a good worker in the ring and he's pretty safe. If you want, I know Cedric Alexander is in NXT, but he can, you know, WWE kind of don't care about brand stuff when they don't care about it. You got so many different people he can pull from. So it's very hard for him to have a bad match on his title run. And some of these people are pretty decent and pretty good on the mic. So he can always have some great interactions between those guys. But at the end of the day, I would hope that tonight they would have them have a lot of time in their match. A long match, because I feel like that this U.S. title isn't going to be defended on bad blood. There's a possibility they can make it happen if an interference happened, probably from maybe Santos Escobar or something, and turn it into a triple threat match. I wouldn't mind that at all. But just for looking at it for what it is, if that does not happen, I'm hoping they give them a ton of time. And in a sense, to make Andrade look really good in the ring, make LA Knight look really good in the ring, and have it to where Andrade looks like he could possibly win this match. And then, you know, he's very short of winning that and makes them look really strong, and they can do the whole babyface thing where they're like, hey, you did a good job of beating me up, I did a good job of beating you up too, wow, we almost washed each other in there, guys. Like, just have that handshake and just out of respect, and maybe they can revisit this sometime in the future. But I think ultimately in the end, I think the goal should be to get that title on Carmelo Hayes from LA Knight sometime in the future. So I would rather them do something with those three. I don't want want Carmelo Hayes to really be that close to LA Knight while this title run is going on until it's time for them to transfer the title to him. But that's just my personal opinion. But hopefully we get a long, pretty good match. What do you guys think about that one? Let me know in the comment section. So the next thing that is here that is being advertised is the most the most convoluted tag team match of the year, in my personal opinion. And this is that tag team match that was agreed upon between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax and Bayley and Naomi. And if you don't remember what the stipulation is for this match, let me explain this to you. Okay, they have so many layers here, which is kind of interesting because they're trying to do something different. And it's Bayley and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. So the stipulation here is if Bayley or Naomi gets pinned in this match, whoever gets pinned has to leave SmackDown. If Nia Jax or Tiffany Stratton gets pinned, then that means whoever pins that person gets a title match against Nia Jax at Bad Blood, which it has to be something to where the title match is happening at Bad Blood at the end of the day. So we got to all agree on that. So I'm thinking a couple of scenarios that can happen here that can make us lead up into that point. The first one that seems more logical is for Bayley to pin Tiffany Stratton and get that rematch at Bad Blood and potentially lose that match, and possibly Naomi could turn heel and attack her. That seems the most logical. For me, the most dramatic way of going this, and probably the most a little bit more entertaining way, is if they have a segment tonight where Bayley tells Naomi like, "Hey, I promise you, I got you," and Naomi's like, "Word, like, hey, I don't really want to get pinned in this match. I love being here at SmackDown. This is my home. I don't want to leave." And then Bayley's like, "I got you. Don't worry. I'm not going to let anyone take you away. I got you. I got you." And then in the match, you can have it where someone is going to pin Naomi and then Bayley wants to go in there and stop it. Maybe somebody like Tiffany Stratton gets involved and attacks her and gets her out the way to where she cannot stop the pin, and Naomi gets pinned and she has to leave SmackDown. Now, the reason why that would be kind of interesting to see is because now what Bayley can actually do to get this match at Bad Blood is, which is kind of something people probably don't want to see in a sense, because SmackDown kind of, or WWE in general, kind of have like these matches surrounding the same group of people. But if you want to keep these matches within these four women, you can have Bayley go against Tiffany Stratton, have her propose a match to Nia Jax and say, "Hey, you know what? How about me and Tiffany Stratton have this match? If I win, then I get to have this match against you, Nia Jax, at Bad Blood. And if I win that match, then what happens is Naomi gets to come back. If I lose this match, then I can no longer go after your title once again." And I know that seems like something they always do, but I guess that's the only thing that she could bank. She can't bank her own career at this point in time. That wouldn't make any sense, because it has to be something enticing for Nia Jax. And in that situation, Nia Jax, they can have that match or whatever, and Naomi can interfere because she's upset with Bayley, because she's like, "Bro, you told me that you were going to protect me. You told me you were going to keep me from being eliminated, and I trusted you. And now you're going after a title. I leave, and you get to go after a title that I wanted to get." And that can start that whole situation between those two, and they can have their own separate storyline. And I think that could be something interesting for Naomi to do, outside of just being like a Mortal Kombat cameo character that gets involved in stuff that has nothing to do with her. And they're like, "Okay, you can get involved in this feud that has nothing to do with you, but when you don't, go over there and glow or something. Like, go in there and just switch the batteries on your shoes." Like, I feel like they kind of do her dirty, given the run that she had in TNA, which I get that those are two separate things, but it just shows that she does have potential to at least be pretty decent as a champion, which, again, why I'm an advocate of a mid-card title. But at the same time, how they treat these ladies sometimes, I kind of don't know if that would even help anything, given the way that they kind of treat the mid-card when it comes to the lady. But that's a whole different conversation for a different day. So let's move on to the next match that's being advertised here, and that is between Chelsea Green. Did I say it right? Did I say it right? I didn't. Versus Michin for the dumpster. It's a dumpster match, okay? So what I did not like is this match that they had between Michin and Piper Niven last week, where Michin basically squashed Piper Niven, which, if you're going to have that happen, if you don't have the time to make this match happen, don't have the match. They could have moved that match to this week. The dumpster match could have been next week, and then they could have been doing something else after that. But it happened. What could we do? We can't change time. But in this match here, there's a couple of things that I really like about this match, and some parts of it that I'm kind of like, I don't know. The fact that Michin is getting a lot more TV time is the part that I really appreciate, because I'm a big fan of Mia Yim, Michin, Jade, whatever you want to call her. And I love the fact that they're giving her an opportunity to be on TV a lot more and giving some shine to some women who are in the mid card that weren't like former champions or people who are part of the Four Horsewomen or something like that. Actual mid-carders getting an opportunity. And I think the great thing that they did was having her wrapped up with the OC. But I think in that situation as well, it felt like they didn't really have much for her to do. And it felt like she was just there. So now that they give her an opportunity to kind of stand on her own, I think this is great for her, because when it comes to the women's division, there's a ton of heels. So it's like now you finally got a face who's going to progress, specifically in SmackDown. So I like this. I like this for that match. Now, the other thing, reason why I like it for this matter is because we're going to get a dumpster match, which I think the whole point of this is to see Chelsea Green's reaction when she gets dropped in the garbage can and the lid closed on her. I think that's mostly everybody's like part that everybody is looking forward to seeing. And that part is going to be hilarious. Now, this could be a good match. It really could if they book Chelsea Green like she was in Impact, if they book her in a way to showcase her in-ring ability. But because she has this gimmick where she is just this jobber who's comedic, I highly doubt that's going to happen. In fact, I don't even think this match is really going to last that long, to be honest with you. You know, given that it's Chelsea Green, unless obviously Piper Niven gets involved one way or another. And then we're going to get the Piper Niven versus Michin rematch next. And that should be the match that's going to be the longer one to make up for the debacle that we got last week. So I think that's what they're going for at the end of the day. And maybe if this somehow can, you know, kind of create some type of friction between Chelsea Green and Piper Niven to kind of have them have the whole Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton situation without the title and without the Money in the Bank contract, where Chelsea Green is tired of Piper Niven bossing her around. I think that would be a good dynamic as well, because then that adds another babyface to the division for the women, which they need more of those. And then Piper Niven can get a match to showcase herself as well. And we all know she's good in the ring. And then if they can kind of book Chelsea Green and still be a little comedic, but at the same time to make her look more serious in the ring, I think that really can benefit the women's division at the end of the day, in my personal opinion. I think that will be a really, really good idea for Chelsea Green. And it'll make it seem like that it makes more sense for her to possibly win something like the next Royal Rumble or down the line the next Money in the Bank or whatever. But at this point, as being the character that she is, it's hard to take the idea of her winning some high profile match as serious, you know, because of how they're booking her. But anyways, let me know what you think about that one. And let's move on to the final advertised appearance for the night. And Roman Reigns and the Super Saiyan Pastor Cody Rhodes will appear. Surprise, right? And I think the only surprise here is that Roman Reigns is actually going to appear. Cody Rhodes, he's going to be there every week. He's going to have to talk. But for me, what I want to see out of this is them explaining why they changed their mind and ended up signing the contracts last week. Because both of them were like basically like, bro, I'm not signing nothing, right? Cody's like, I'm not signing none of these contracts. I don't want nothing to do with the bloodline. Then later on, he actually signs the contract. Roman Reigns essentially does the exact same thing, where he basically says he doesn't need the contract. He doesn't need Cody to fight the bloodline, which kind of insinuated that he was going to attack him on his own accord without the help of any of the GMs or anything like that. So Nick Aldis, excuse me. So we kind of need an explanation for that, and we're probably going to get a back and forth banter where they're just like, all right, we're on the same team. I don't like you. You don't like me. We have one goal in mind. We have to destroy these people. We have a common enemy. Like, it's probably going to be some type of version of the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation, more of like a Goku and Vegeta conversation that's happening here before they started to side together. One of you guys said in the comment section that was a great analogy for what's going on here, but that's really what's going on here. And I hope that that's the case. I hope that we get an idea of why this whole thing happening. And I think whatever they say is probably to some people going to be underwhelming if it's not that deep. But I just want an explanation. I personally don't really care. We could just, you know, as long as it's not something dumb, then I can just deal with it. We're going to have this match at Bad Blood. It's in Cody Rhodes' hometown, which is interesting that, you know, this is also the hometown of AJ Styles, and he's not getting a match there either. But I'm not a believer that just because it's your hometown, you guaranteed to get a match in whatever city that is. But that's also the hometown of, isn't that the hometown of also, correct me if I'm wrong, of Braun Breaker, right? Isn't that his hometown as well? So that's interesting as well. But that is my thoughts and what I want to see happen on SmackDown tonight for the preview. So you guys let me know what you guys think. Which thing in this entire thing, the appearances or the matches, are you looking forward to the most? Which one are you looking forward to the least? Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think should happen tonight? I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say. Happy Friday. It's super early in the morning. I got to get to work. Actually, I need to be getting in the car right now. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.